Broadcasting from the beautiful Great Lakes state of Michigan, I'm Tom Bartholomew, your host of the Michigan Contractor Show. And I worked in the construction industry for over 25 years. I started on a job site when I was 14, working for my dad on a vinyl siding job. Now I spend all my time running a digital marketing agency where I help contractors and companies in the skilled trade promote their business and reach customers in ways they never thought possible. Again, my name is Tom, and let's get to today's guest. My guest today is the owner of Ink Chemistry, where they know that ordering custom apparel can be overwhelming and frustrating because sometimes where do you start, and it can take a long time to get it done. That's why they have delivered over 2,500 orders on time, taking the stress out of the buying process and making your brand stand out. I want to welcome my guest today, Garrett Evans. Thanks for being on the show, Garrett.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Garrett, can you tell me, how did you get into screen printing?
Well, to be honest, I actually owned another company at the time, and we did wildlife control. So we were doing a lot of things with animals, and we actually specialized in bats. And in Michigan, bats are way more common than people think. And so we really focused on that. That was our niche. And it wasn't just that we would go through and remove animals from properties, buildings, homes, residential, everything. The main focus really was doing the repairs on those houses, on those buildings, finding the entry points, and closing those off and doing permanent repairs so that they wouldn't we wouldn't get rid of them and they wouldn't just come right back and get back in. So a lot of it really broke down to roofing work, and we did a lot of some siding stuff and soffit repair and everything like that. And anyone who's out there who's watching this, if you're a roofer, if you're a sider, if you're a contractor, and you're out there with workwear, you blow through shirts pretty quick. They get dirty, they get beat up, they get snagged on stuff, they get torn, they get ripped. So like any other contractor, we were kind of going through, and we'd be placing orders, and I was just having a difficult time finding a good source to get our orders, to get them correct, to get them timely. Someone who's actually good at design, and we would find a lot of people that they would be very good artistically and they would be great at designing shirts for us, but maybe they were more the artist mind. So they were great at the art, but then the orders took a month and a half or 2 months to get, or when we get the orders, they weren't right, and the counts were off, and they ordered the wrong shirts, what have you. And then on the flip side, we would get I would work with some shops that the orders would come through, we would get them timely and everything, but they had been in business for so long that they kind of had like stock artwork. And I'm sure plenty of contractors out there can notice this. In your industry, you start to look at different logos from different companies, and you see a lot of themes, and you see a lot of stuff that's almost identical, and that's just kind of a lazy graphic standpoint. And some of the older shops would have this this artwork that they just stockpiled for 30-40 years, and they would just kind of recycle it, put a new name over it, put a new phone number underneath it, and not really give a unique logo to make a brand stand out, to make a company stand out. And so getting frustrated with those two things, I had some friends who were in the screen printing custom apparel industry, and I figured if they can do it, I can do it. So a friend was working at a shop. He had his own shop prior, just a basic home shop, and he had some really simple equipment that he was wanting to get rid of. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to make our own. So I bought this equipment and learned a little bit about screen printing, and started just really making shirts so that I knew when we needed them, we could get them quick. I could just print them real fast, and we would always have nice, clean, good looking t-shirts, at least for all the field techs that were out there, doing work. And it started like that, and then kind of a, typical thing. You start getting other friends that start asking for shirts, and then they kind of mention your name to someone else. And I started doing more stuff for, some other local businesses. And I just really fell in love with the whole process and kind of became a little bit obsessed with it, and just started researching it and seeing the different ways to decorate and seeing the different different things that people go through and purchase, and looking into embroidery and heat pressing. And I just kind of got a little bit consumed by it. And I was actually doing both businesses for almost 5 years, and then I was like, you know what, it's time to make the leap. And I really enjoy doing this. I really enjoy working with, multiple different business owners and entrepreneurs and, organizations. I mean, we do all kinds of stuff, but the bulk of it is definitely, skilled trade businesses and things of that nature. And I just, kind of fell into it and came to a little bit obsessed with it. So, that kind of brought me to here. And now this is what I'm doing full time. And, it's great. It's just meeting different people and helping them, figure this stuff out. Because just like you said, it can be a little overwhelming. Most business owners have a million things that they're thinking about and doing every day. So the last thing they want to try to think about is, what type of thread counts their t-shirts are going to have for their employees, or, different polos and fabrics and different inks. They don't want to know about that stuff. They just want someone to be able to help them out when they need it and streamline it and get it to their people and be done with it.
Yeah. Wow. What a great story about how you were in one industry, working with the animal control, doing some construction work, roofing, soffit fascia work, because that's where the bats live, right? And
yep.
So you got to remove all that guano, and that's some tedious work and difficult and dirty, and you were trying to get some uniforms, and then you end up getting into that industry because you were frustrated with that process. What a great story. So tell me about, I want to know, like, why should a contractor, anybody in the skilled trades, why would they need a uniform? Like, do people really judge a book by its cover? Like, can't they just go out there and be themselves, or should they be all, looking up?
I mean, just like you said, everyone wants to teach their kids, don't judge a book by the cover, but it's human nature to make an initial assessment as soon as you see someone. I don't care if you were brought up, don't judge a book by a cover. It's built into your DNA to do that. And so when people, have that initial meetup with, whether you use a sales rep or you as just an owner operator, you're going and doing estimates and doing quotes for people, as soon as they look at you, they're going to build in their mind your value. And so you want to give those prospects, heightened value of what you're worth. If you pull up in someone's driveway and you've got a truck that's held together by duct tape, and you're wearing your Yosemite Sam Tweety Bird NASCAR t-shirt that's all ripped up, and you got jeans that have grease and paint stains and everything all over it, and you're trying to sell a remodel on their house, you're trying to sell them a new roof, you're trying to install a new furnace, and those projects are expensive. That's a lot of money for someone to invest. And if it doesn't look like you're investing in yourself, then why is a prospect going to invest in you? Why are they going to it makes them more comfortable with you. It builds instant trust, and it just makes it a whole lot easier to be able to build that relationship with a customer, with a client. You have that heightened value right away. They know you're not some guy who's just going to show up, take the money and run. You're more established and you look more professional. It's important. But beyond that, there's other things with it too. I think a lot of people, a lot of contractors, when they go through and they look at, custom apparel, they kind of look at it as just an expense. Oh, it's, that time of year we got to buy shirts for everyone. God, I hate it. It's such a waste of money. But it's really something that when anyone has a good company, a good business, they really build a family in their business. They build a tribe in that business. And if you're bringing someone in, you hire someone in, and you're giving them, shirts to wear, you're giving them hats to wear. One, you're letting them know, you're part of our crew. You're with us. We trust in you. You're representing our company. We trust you to represent our company. And it kind of has a team building thing. They feel like they're part of something. Everyone wants to be part of a community. So it builds that that relationship within your team, within your company. And I think that's really important, and people kind of overlook that. And like I said, if you're hiring laborers and you're not giving them anything to wear, they're not going to go out and buy new clothes to come to work in. They're going to find whatever dingy, junky stuff they already have, because they don't want to ruin their good stuff. So, you're not going to get that uniformity. You're not going to, you don't have any control over that, over how they're representing your brand, just as a visual aspect. So I think it's really important, not only to show that you're professional in your prospects' eyes, but it also builds team strength and a community within your company. So it's really important, and I think people kind of overlook that, and they just see it as a burden, to where if you look at it the right way, it's really a way to show off a little bit and make your company look better.
I couldn't agree more. You reminded me of when I was running a crew, and I was onboarding a new guy, and I gave him his shirt, and then I gave him a hat, and a nice embroidered hat with our logo on it. And I said, no, I want you just, wear the stuff when you come to work. And if you need more, let me know. And he said, can I wear my hat always? I'm going to wear it all the time, not just at work. And he was just so excited. Absolutely. because I just gave him a really, it was a really nice hat. I tried to keep it quality, and he was so excited for that. And it made him, he worked so hard, and he was just excited to be there every day. And a lot of that, there's other things that go along with it, but I think that because I gave him that excitement in his face when he got it. So I think you're right. It really builds that team. You're part of us, when you're hiring. So it's great for employee morale.
Yeah. If you look at, there's different things you're going to get too for different sections of your company. You're not going to buy the same thing typically for techs that are out working as you're going to get for someone who's working in the office, as someone who's going to be a sales rep. And so you want to kind of look at those different roles, and they're gonna wear different types of apparel. They're going to have a different look to them to represent their position. But just like you said, if you work with someone who can help with design, who can help tell you the difference of different types of apparel, who can show you new trends that are coming out. You can create something that's not just, oh man, I got to put on my work shirt, and it looks awful, and I don't want to. You can really make some nice apparel that, like you said, people want to wear out. People want to. It's comfortable, they like how it fits, they like how it looks, and they're wearing it out just because it's their favorite shirt, and you're getting free exposure for it. You're getting advertisement for it, because anyone who's out and about and your logo's stamped on their back or on their chest, I mean, that's advertising, that's marketing, and it doesn't cost you any extra to get in front of those extra people. So I think people kind of have a little bit of a misconception about what they can do with company apparel and buying things that brand their logo on it.
Yeah, I think that, like you said, not just marketing, but team morale, And then it doesn't cost you anymore. You're put them in an outfit and they're wearing it out, wearing the hat out, and it's giving you more exposure. So, and that goes along with like you were talking, make sure you don't have a recycled logo, right? Because you don't want to have somebody misinterpret it.
Absolutely.
So on your website, it says in some big letters, it says merch made simple. How do you do that? Tell me about why. How are you simple compared to someone else?
So yeah, the kind of our mantra is merch made easy. It's basically we really break it down into 3 simple steps. We go through, someone is interested in apparel, we set up a phone call with them. Typically 20 minutes to a half an hour. We're going to find out all your needs, what you're looking for, what we can do for you, and really just get a grasp on the project. We've been doing this for so long, and with so many different companies, it's pretty easy for us to get the direct questions to you that we're going to get the info that we need to make it so that it's a relatively quick phone call. Once we get that information, basically we go through and we break down a quote, we break down the artwork, we send that to you. Once that's approved and paid, you have your apparel in a week. So it's really those 3 steps. We do a consultation, we do the art proof and the invoice, and then you're getting your stuff in a week. And there's a lot of different things on our end within those 3 steps. It's not necessarily 3 steps on our end, but that's what it is for our clients. Just to make it easy, like I said, business owners, I've worked in other industries. I've owned multiple businesses, and if you're a business owner, you don't have a job, you have all the jobs. So you have tons of stuff to do all day, and we just want to try to streamline it and make it easy and simple so that we're not just a t-shirt. I'm not a t-shirt guy. We're an asset. We add value to them, and they know they can, if they need something, it's going to be quick. We take it off the plate for them, and they can move on with other, priorities that they have.
Well, I think that is very important because I know that when I have gone out and purchased stuff, I never got on the phone with any representative. I just did an online type ordering and crossed my fingers that it would turn out okay. So I love that where they don't have to go through, try to do it on their own. You set up a consultation with them. First step, hey, let's get on the phone. Let me find out what your needs are, assess your situation, and because you've been doing it for so long and have all those resources, you can give them the best advice. So they're not just picking something because they think it's good, but you're helping them pick something that that can really help move the needle forward for them. No, I think that's great. So they can find out more about that at inkchemistry.com. That's your website.
Yep.
I got a couple other questions. Like, let's say I'm ordering something. What kind of minimums do you have? Or what kind of items, I guess? I see hats and towels in the background. We talked about shirts and that's a lot of common stuff in embroidery. Sure. But what else do you do? You pens, coffee mugs? What do you provide?
To be honest, if you want your logo or your name on it, that's what we do. So what we do the most is definitely apparel. And that's screen printing, embroidery, heat transfers, heat press, different decorating methods. But we also do any kind of promotional products. I mean, we do, like you were saying, pens, sunglasses, coolers, koozies. I've done tape measures. We've done, literally anything you can pretty much think of to put your name on, we can go through and do it. And there's definitely different things in different markets and different industries that make more sense. And I think there's a lot of things that make sense to people once we explain it to them. It might not right off the bat. Promo products is apparel's one thing. Promo products is definitely another thing, but it's an extremely strong marketing tool. And you can go through and really, I wouldn't say niche industries as much as niche your clients. You can really look at your client base. You can really look at your demographic. You can really kind of look at, who are those people that you want to work with as clients, and kind of figure out who they are, things that they're interested in, things that they like. And you can offer them, promo products with your logo on it. That's going to be something they're going to use. they're going to get value out of it. They're going to keep it around. They're going to have it on their desk. They're going to have it on their, they're going to wear it. They're going to use it for something. So there's a really strong marketing aspect of promotional products that, again, I think it's something that people kind of look at as an expense. They're like, we've got, these expos coming up, so I've got to buy 5,000 pens, and, we're gonna, give away flyers, and, and that's it. And especially with expos, I've done my fair share of them. And the biggest thing with an expo is, how do you get people at your booth? It's not just, well, we have got pens and we've got flyers. You want to draw people to your booth. You want to have something that creates interest, because if someone's looking at a booth, at an expo booth especially, and they see a lot of people there, why are all those people there? Whether it's a service or something that they're interested in, they're curious, why are so many people there? So you draw in more, people just by, having others that are sitting there. So, being able to look at who your client, who you really want as a client, and who you want to work with, and being able to offer them stuff that is to their interest, is a really, really strong marketing plan and marketing tool. So, there's a million different products out there that you can go through and you can customize and have your name and logo on. It's just being able to work with someone who can show you what products makes the most sense, not just trying to sell you something, but work with a plan to get the most efficiency out of it.
And that's why they should reach out to you at inkchemistry.com to set up that consultation to find out, what those products would be. And we know that contractors love home shows, right? They love going to home shows. So besides a pen, what would be a good product? What is a good, that you see a good product to have to bring those people in, right? Because unless you have plants, unless you bring all your friends with you, how are you going to get all those people to your booth?
Sure. I mean, there's different tricks, without a doubt. I mean, you can go through and you could, buy a couple things that are maybe more expensive products. You could buy a Yeti cooler, right? But you could have it customized with your company's name, info, logo, everything on that. Now, a Yeti logo or a Yeti cooler, they're pricey. They're extremely nice. But you take that one cooler, you set it up, and you make some kind of a game. You've seen a million expo booths that have games. They've got the wheel that they spin. They've got a putting game, bags. There's tons of things you can do, but have that one big thing or a couple bigger things like that to give away, that anyone, whether they want to use your company or not, they want that. That's going to draw people to the booth. But as far as promo products that you can give to clients, you want to try to give them something that they're going to enjoy, that's going to build value. But you do want to think about something that's, well, how can I connect it to what we do? How can you connect it to your business so that there is, it's not just some random thing you're giving them. So a lot of people do, like I said, pens can be great. Pens can be good at expos and stuff like that. But if I was going to do a bunch of pens, I would suggest pens to industries that are constantly writing. You're talking about lawyers, you're talking about accountants, you're talking about bankers. And I'm not going to try to give them the absolute cheapest pen I can get, the best deal. You spend a little bit of money and you get decent pens that they're going to keep, they're going to use, they're going to keep looking at your name and your logo on there. So pens are great, but I think too many people default to them. They've kind of turned into just that's the promo product everyone buys. And I don't think that's necessarily how to look at it, but you got to get kind of creative. I think, let's say you're an insulation contractor. Okay, so you go out and you do a job for someone, you're adding insulation, you re-insulate their house, their attic, what have you. And when you're done, you do a follow-up thank you, appreciate your business, blah, blah, blah. You send them a pair of pajama pants that have your company logo on the pajama pants, and you send a little note. Well, now that we got your house more efficient and keeping the heat in better, here's something else we want to give you to help keep you warm in the winter months. Now, those are going to be who doesn't like pajama pants? It does coordinate with what they did. You're insulating their house, you're keeping it warmer, you're keeping their house more comfortable. Here's just something to make you a little bit more comfortable. And that's something they're going to wear. Are they going to wear it out of the house? No. But when their neighbor comes over for cocktail hour and they're like, oh, I saw you got, some guys over here working, what was going on? Oh man, this company came over, they insulated the house. They did a great job. They're really nice, fantastic work. They gave me these pajama pants. They're super comfortable. I've been in them for every Zoom call in the last 4 days, and it gives you that word of mouth. It gives you that referral, and you step yourself up. You have greater value, and things like that. There's a lot of stuff that people don't think of as promotional products, or they don't think it has anything to do with their company. But you got to kind of learn how to read between the lines, and how can you put a marketing message with it that makes sense to what they do and what they offered for their client. And you can really kind of wow people with it. And that's the biggest thing. If you can wow someone, if you can show them that you go above and beyond what the other guy does, that you care, showing a client that you care, even after the job's done, after you've cash the check and the work's over with and you're done, you show them that you care after that. You do your follow-ups and, give them little things. You can really build a great name for yourself, and word of mouth, it spreads. Referrals are the best marketing there is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of people live or die by word of mouth. But what you're saying, what I just heard there, well, a couple things. I want to back up a little bit. So you were talking earlier about niches, and I love niches. I talk about niching all the time, and that's one thing I did. Now I run a digital marketing agency, and I only work with contractors or people in the skilled trades. So when I work with a contractor, I have them fill out a form so we can figure out who, customer persona. So we can figure out who their customer is. And I'm sure a lot of carpenters say, well, I do everything. Well, but then you're really spreading yourself. How can you be an expert, right? So I love how you were talking about that, where you even go into that with them to help them figure out the stuff. And the games, that was great. So I was just thinking when you were talking about that, because I've been to a lot of home shows and different, events like that. And a lot of times you'll have a high price thing, but you'll have maybe a drawing. Everybody's having a drawing. That's not very exciting, right? But playing a game to win this. So I could see a couple Yeti tumblers with a logo on it, having a few of them, so multiple people can win, and they have, give me your email and contact us to fill out this form in order to play, right? You want to gather that for your email list.
Absolutely.
But what an exciting thing. Like you said, people are going to get there. They're going to get excited. Oh, I almost won. I was thinking Plinko. I see Plinko boards all over, things like that, where it's just fun. People recognize it. They know exactly what you're doing. What a great bit of advice there. I think that's priceless.
Yeah, it's I've done a Plinko board, because even with this, I like going to home shows and everything, because I kind of go out and see what are the companies that are there and who can I maybe reach out to. Not necessarily that the people running a expo booth is your, they're not usually the gatekeeper or the final decision maker, but you can go out and see what people do and everything. But yeah, and if having a game, having those, just like you said, when people do the giveaways, okay, and everyone's been to all these shows and everything, and someone's giving away a Jeep, or someone's giving away this, where it will remodel your entire house and all this stuff, and you're putting your name and your information on a little piece of paper, you're dropping it in a bucket. Do they even give away the Jeep? Do they even give away that work? You don't really know. Yeah. But if you're given something right there, you give something of value, you give a game, and a game that's open, that people know there's a chance to win. They can see themselves winning. That's what really gets them excited about it, because then they know, oh, there's actually a chance I could get this thing. It's not just, blowing smoke and, smoke and mirrors. But yeah, and having, when you do games, have little small prizes that you give away too. Those are where you give, you get a little bit larger order quantities of things that are less expensive, and then they're walking away, they're still getting something, they still got a good feeling about it, and they're going to go, if anyone else is there that they know, they're going to, hey, go play that game, you can win the cooler, we'll borrow it, we'll split it with each other, go win that thing.
I was just thinking that, like, if you had some Yeti tumblers and you had a Plinko board, I'd get excited to play it. And then if I saw somebody I knew later and they were like, oh yeah, what have you been? I'd be like, go play the Plinko board, right?
Yeah,
go try to win a cooler. I wouldn't say go sign up to get your house remodeled, because I wouldn't think that I've filled those out.
Yeah.
Get your house full of windows. And I filled it out going, am I really ever gonna get a chance to win this? I don't know, but I've never won, so I don't know for sure, and I haven't heard the announcements, but that's neither here nor there at this point. Right. Well, this advice that you're giving us, Garrett, is just priceless. It's amazing, and I think a lot of contractors, they go to these home shows and they just wing it, right? Or they get their uniforms and they just wing it. They just get a hold of any old t-shirt guy because they can screen print and all that. And what I'm hearing from you is you're more of a partner. You're trying to help them out, figure out their niche, talk with them, have a conversation, a consultation to begin with, 3 steps, right? Just make it real easy, and you're going to get it to them in a week. Most items anyway, right?
Most items, yeah. I mean, apparel is typically never an issue. The promotional products, that just depends on, the more obscure, the odder the thing, it might take a little bit longer to get. But I mean, we're even with promotional products, we're typically never ever more than 2 weeks. I mean, unless something's completely back ordered or something that's out of our hands. Obviously, this last year, there was some issues with manufacturers and everything, with people not being able to just flat out make things. But even then, we never really struggled too bad this year. So yeah, it's something. When I first started, it was to just kind of fill our own need and be something real easy and expedite getting the clothes that we needed. But over the years, it's I like talking to entrepreneurs. I like talking to business owners. I like finding out about different industries. But when it really comes down to it, being a business owner myself, we all have the same struggles. They might be wrapped in a different wrapping, but they're the same issues. Everyone deals with their marketing. Everyone deals with their accounting. Everyone deals with, HR. And it's so, I like finding out what people do, how, not just the services that they offer, but what type of people they like to work with, how they like to run their business, how they like to build a team. And all of those things really come into this stuff. You really kind of, the more you can kind of look at where you're at and where you want to go with your business, marketing is vast, and there's many aspects to it. And I think, promo products and apparel is something that people kind of overlook, and it can really be, I think, one of your strongest assets. So, I like to kind of help people realize that and look at it and utilize it, and not feel like they're just throwing money in the wind and it's just I gotta buy this stuff, it's that time of year. They shouldn't have that outlook at it. They should be excited about it, and they should be thinking about it more regularly. A lot of people put in an order once a year, and they're like, oh, we got to do our order, and they do the same thing year after year after year. And you can do smaller runs of different things and spend less money, but multiple times of the year, and look at different trends, look at different things that are more relevant with different seasons. And kind of having those different things, you test out, you see what hits better, you see what people like more, you see what relates to your customer more, to things that your employees like more. So we try to be someone that's more of, like you said, more of a partner, more of an asset, and give value to these different companies, and not be the guy that's, just in their garage trying to throw your name on a Hanes t-shirt.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Garrett, where are you located at?
So we're technically in Holly, Michigan. We're right on the border of Grand Blanc. We're just south of Flint, about 12, 15 minutes. That's where our shop is. That's where our showroom is. But we send stuff all over the place. We ship a lot of things, out of state. We ship a lot of things within the state. So, we, even if you're not located right near us, we're still a closer shop, because we'll get your stuff right to your front door. You don't got to worry about taking time out of your day to go down to the shop, go to the local screen printer and pick your stuff up. And, you don't got to take the time out of your day. We'll send it right to you. So, yeah, we've been in Michigan, and this is where we'll be.
Well, I think that's great. I love everything you talked about. Great information, great advice for contractors or anybody in the skilled trade for their marketing and their apparel and stuff like that. If you're listening to this, make sure you get a hold of Garrett at inkchemistry.com for all of your apparel needs. Garrett, anything else you'd like to tell us about your business?
No, I mean, we're just, if anyone's curious about anything, reach out anytime. Even if you just got questions, I'm happy to answer anything. I always like to BS about business and whatnot. So anyone who's just curious about anything, reach out. You can also shoot an email, info@inkchemistry.com, and be happy to help.
Awesome. Well, I think that probably the biggest thing that I think that separates you is that you give them that consultation in the beginning. They're not just picking things off of a menu or anything. That you're helping them out, and I think that that's huge.
There's I won't say the names, but plenty of people see the commercials on TV, and they're seeing these different shops that are gigantic websites, and they purchase everything online. But it's kind of like you said, they're not, no one's helping guide them through it, and they're just going through. And, business owners, contractors, like I said, they're not thinking about fabrics. They're not thinking about thread counts. They're not thinking about, the different kind of high vis stuff that they need. They're not, so they go and they look on these sites, and they kind of stumble around them, and they end up purchasing something, and then they get something that they, that's not what they really wanted. And, that we do our best to prevent that. That's why we do those consults, to talk with you, figure out exactly is that what's your goal with what you're buying, what you really need. And it might be, you might need something that you didn't think, or you don't need something that you did think. So we try to give that guidance and help people out, so that they're not wasting time and wasting money on something that they're not going to be happy with.
Well, nobody likes to waste time or money, so they can get a hold of you. You'll help them out with all that. Again, inkchemistry.com. And Garrett, thank you so much for being on the show today. If you like this episode with Garrett, go ahead and leave us a comment. Subscribe to our channel. Hit that bell so you get notified. We're putting out a new show every Tuesday, so we'd love to have you around. And Garrett, thanks again.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, you did it. It was wonderful. I enjoyed having you on the show and talking to you today. And we'll see everybody next Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks.
If you would like to be a guest on this show, go ahead and head on over to MichiganContractorshow.com. You can check out past episodes, and there's a form to fill out. If you'd like to be a guest, we'll check out your application and get a hold of you to find out when we can schedule that time. Thanks again, and we'll see you on Tuesday.